Good afternoon, Your Honor. Daniel Magoo.
All right. Mr. Gu, you are representing yourself. I do have to apprise you that you are before the court on charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. That is a high court misdemeanor, or what technically is known as a high court misdemeanor, and or felony punishable by up to 2 years, $2,000 fine plus court costs. There are great perils in representing yourself in this. You have to understand that I am going to treat you the same as though you know the laws and the rules of evidence. I will not treat you worse because you are not represented. I will not treat you better or grant any favors or try to clarify anything for you. If for whatever reason during any point in this proceeding you wish to be represented by counsel and cannot afford to hire counsel, counsel will be appointed to represent you. As I have in the past hearings asked you to acknowledge what I've said, I'm going to only indicate that I believe that you understand English. You believe that the words that I have said to you are understood, so that we don't get into, you need to remove the gum from your mouth.
Mr. Msur is back, and this time, he's about to learn exactly why having legal representation is not optional. If this is your first time on the channel, this is part 2 of a previous case we covered. And honestly, Daniel Msur continues to prove why this situation is going downhill fast. He refuses to answer Judge Simpson's questions, carries himself with this arrogant attitude, and acts like he's above the entire courtroom. Right from the start, things go badly for him. I mean, seriously, he's sitting in court, no lawyer, casually chewing gum like this is nothing. That alone tells you everything about how seriously he's taking this. Let me be clear. Do not do what this guy is doing. If you're ever in a situation like this, get proper legal representation. But enough talking. Let's jump straight in and see what happens between Msur and Judge Simpson in today's hearing.
And
Thank you.
so I will not ask you to acknowledge. I will presume that you do indeed understand everything that I've said. Now, having said that, what are we doing with this case?
I'd like to move for evidentiary hearing or
Do you wish to have a preliminary examination?
preliminary examination. Yes, sir.
Would the people have their witnesses available the second?
We can try, Your Honor, but before moving toward that, would the court be willing to make its inquiries about discovery? I am aware of the defendant having filed a writ of mandamus with the Court of Appeals of the state of Michigan.
Yes.
That was subsequently dismissed without prejudice by the Court of Appeals.
Correct.
Contained within that, though, there are allegations that my office has violated its Brady obligations and has not provided sufficient discovery. So I'm not sure if we're ready to move forward to preliminary exam. The defendant is saying that he doesn't have all of the discovery. That is the concern of the court. The record I feel compelled to make at this time, though, is that the people have provided, I do believe, complete discovery to the defendant, and I believe that some of the representations that were made in this writ of mandamus that has been dismissed include appear to allege that things that have already been denied by this court should be produced. Furthermore, the defendant filed a motion with no notice of hearing attached to it. So there's an outstanding motion in this case as well, no hearing date scheduled. So I'm hoping that we can sort of reconcile both of those things as whether or not discovery is complete, the defendant's prepared to move forward, and if he ever has filed a notice of hearing to go along with the motion that I received in this case on 11/22.
Mr. Gu, your response.
My response is that I thought this was the hearing that we were setting for the motion. So if I have to set a motion for a notice of hearing for that motion, I will do that today, Your Honor, promptly.
What about discovery?
I'm ready to move forward on my what I meant by my discovery comment was that there's still no exculpatory evidence as far as that I did anything wrong, as far as anything that they've submitted. So if it was improper for the wording, Your Honor, I apologize, but my ultimate goal is have the prosecution present their evidence against me.
I'm going to indicate discovery is complete because I don't know what you're saying. Because what you just said regarding discovery didn't make any sense. As it regards the motion, we will hear the motion or the motion will be heard on date of exam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Deal with it at that point in time. So the people would have their witnesses available on the second.
We could try for the second, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person, January 2nd, 2025, 12 noon, that is before me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And continue.
This guy is the perfect example of why you absolutely need legal representation. Not only that, but he walks into court with this smug attitude, like he's going to outsmart the judge, which, honestly, makes no sense. If anyone has a theory about why he's acting this way, drop it in the comments, because it's hard to understand. To me, he comes off like a classic sovereign citizen. I've covered a few of those before, and they all have that same overconfident, confrontational tone, like they think they're above the law. But here's the reality. This isn't a joke case. He's in court for allegedly assaulting a police officer, and on top of that, he's lost custody of his child. That's serious. You don't lose custody over nothing. And yet, he's acting like this is just another casual day, walking in, denying everything, and thinking that's enough. It's not. At this point, he's doing himself no favors. In fact, he's only making things worse, and it's clear the judge is losing patience quickly. Honestly, anyone watching can see how this is going to end. Representing yourself like this almost never works. Instead of helping, it usually just damages your case even more, and this is a perfect example. Anyway, that's it for my breakdown of this clip. I'll be covering the next court hearing when it comes out, and trust me, it's going to be interesting. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care.